the switch on the generator so I can turn you on. You better get to know your operator before you pack that tone. You own the lock and the key for the window to my soul. Yeah, that's the only thing you talk about. You gotta let me know, 'cause it must have been something out of control. Yeah, it must have been worth it, 'cause I had nothing left to show. How you put my life in your hands when you open up your heart and your soul. Take my love and never go. Yeah, open up your heart and your soul, 'cause if you're looking for something to love, you gotta let me know.
Probably pop and indie.
Took you to my home.
Rap.
Still living on a ladder from the sky.
Grunge, pop punk and alternative rock.
3 out of 4 of the teenagers interviewed said they preferred pop and rap. These are the new genres which they would have grown up with and currently the most promoted on television and media. Your life script suggests that the first 7 years of your life acts as a blueprint for the rest of our lives. Therefore, the music we listen to when we are younger, we are likely to still enjoy and listen to later in our lives. For me, I listen to a lot of music from the 70s, probably because this is the music my parents, who grew up in the 70s, listened to and played around the house when I was younger. However, your music taste can also be defined in your teenage years, as it is a rite of passage. One of Gergen and Gergen's self-maintenance strategies is that we change our behaviour to conform to norms. Therefore, many kids in America joined their friends in listening to rock and roll music in the 1950s. Rock and roll rampaged across America. Teenagers rebelled against the music their parents loved, and the church thought it encouraged immorality in the young. Their id was driven by the pleasant principle of defying their parents. Rock and roll was banned from many radio stations and schools because of its influence on behaviour and the new styles of dance it evoked from its suggestive nature. The genre originated among the lower classes and subcultural groups, thus many middle class thought it was tasteless. The Levises would have agreed, since they thought that anything new held little value because it was not in Matthew Arnold's canon, which consisted of things worth practicing. Frank Sinatra inferred that rock and roll was an act of sublimation, one of Sigmund Freud's self-defense mechanisms, where writers took advantage of the intensity and power of rock and roll to transfer their emotions into it. He stated, "Rock and roll is the most brutal, ugly, degenerate, vicious form of expression, lewd, sly, in plain fact, dirty, a rancid-smelling aphrodisiac and the martial music of every sideburn delinquent on the face of the earth."
As far as first impressions go, I would say appearance and the way they speak, things like that, is more important than the music they listen to.
People who listen to perhaps like rock or heavy metal tend to be a little bit more dangerous, perhaps.
The music that people listen to could like determine what you think of them. If they listen to quite current, like poppy music, you might think they're quite cool, and whereas if they listen to like hard rock, they might be maybe like emo or punk or something.
I think so, because people who listen to more punk rock music sort of dress that way, and emos tend to listen to a particular type of music.
I think that we look up to our favourite artists and then we get ideas of how we dress. Our physical appearance can be influenced by what they wear.
Punk music was very much at the forefront in the 1970s. A punk subculture emerged and the people altered their identity to become their ideal self, which was like their favourite punk artists. The physical appearance taken on was a representation of rebellion. People would dye their hair and stick needles through their face to portray their ideal self and influence others' opinion on them. George Simmel suggests that when looking in a mirror, we are partly seeing the impression that we hope to make on others. However, this is not the first time the world has seen music fashion our identity and physical appearance.
1964 was the year Clacton got clattered, Hastings got hammered, Brighton got battered, and Margate was mullered.
A new music arrived from America, so all of a sudden this then new generation with a sort of like a cult of speed, the bikes, they had a soundtrack, rock and roll.
Modernists were into music, moves, medication, and made-to-measure clothes. By 1963, modernism was mainstream, and the older generation was utterly bemused, not only by the clothes the teenagers were wearing, but by the strange new ways they were enjoying themselves.
And they listened to, God forbid, black music.
Both groups enjoyed the new freedom which came with the advancing economy which changed the national identity after World War II. However, the different types of freedom led to gang fights. Henri Tasvel said that groups give us a sense of social identity and belonging, since many modern rockers claimed that the reason for fighting was boredom. With punk music came an increased amount of vernacular language and restricted code of punk subculture. The radio had increasingly less power over what was played, since the demand wanted the new rebellious music and a change in culture.
Bonafide hustler, making my name. Sometimes I think sitting on trains.
I would say the music industry evolves with the demand of what the people want. So if more people are listening to the more rap, the more sweary kind of music, then they're going to make that more music, aren't they? It's all about the money, so that's the only thing they're interested in, really.
I think the content has changed a lot more because now they let anything be played on the radio, while like 50 years ago it was a lot more controlled.
I don't think their quality is declined, but I think that like most songs are about the same thing, about like relationships and heartbreak, so I think they can get quite repetitive.
Stones and weed and bombs, running when we hit lethal poison for the system, pirate skulls and bones, sticks and stones and weed and bombs, running when we hit lethal poison for the system. No one on the corner has swagger like us. Hit me on my banner, prepaid wireless. We pack and deliver like UPS trucks, already going hell just